we're doing the final exam, not graded, question 10 and 11. So now we see we have an inequality. So it's not an equal sign. This is like a greater than or less than sign. And that means we have to draw the line and then color one side. Okay? So the first thing I do is I'm just going to write it without the inequality. We're just going to draw the line. Okay? So this represents a line. And this is in the y-intercept form. So this says the y-intercept here. And this is the slope. Okay? So here it says put a point on the y-axis. Here's the y-axis at 4. And then the slope is -7, so it says we have to put it over 1 to make it a fraction. So negative means down, positive means right. Let me do that again. So the top number is up and down. So if it's positive, it means go up. If it's negative, it means go down. And on the bottom, if it's positive, it means go this way, and if it's negative, go that way. So we have a negative on the top and a positive on the bottom. So it says go down and right. So down 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then right 1. Okay. Now before I draw the line, I have to look and say, is it dashed or is it solid? Dashed means I'll have these signs, and solid means I'll have these signs. Okay, so here, because I have that little equal sign, it's going to be a solid line. Now, in order to figure out what side to color, we just pick one point. And I usually pick the easiest point. I pick this one, or I pick this one. This one is easier, okay? So I can pick this point only if this line does not touch the center, the origin, 0, 0. And because this is not going through the origin, I can pick the easiest point. So I take this point and I substitute it into this inequality. So wherever the x and y's are, we put zeros. 0. What's 7 times 0? 0. And now I read it. 0, and I touch the big side. 0 is bigger than 4. 0 is bigger than 4. 0 is bigger than 4. Well, here's 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. 0 is not bigger than 4, so this is false. Okay? So, I take this point, here's my point 0, 0, and this point is false. So if I substitute this into the inequality, it's false. So that's false. All of this side is false then. I can pick any point from here and it's going to be false. That means anything from this side will be true. And what side do you color? What side do you shade? You always shade the true side. So you'll shade this side here. Okay. Let's look at the next one. So here I have two inequalities. And just don't get stressed about it. Just graph two inequalities. It's like you have two questions on one graph. So let's look at the first one. This doesn't look nice. It looks weird. So anytime you have something that doesn't look like this, the slope y-intercept method, then you can use a table of values. So first I write it with the equal sign. So I'm going to make my table of values. And I can pick some numbers if x is 0. So if x is 0, put it in here. So y equals x. Where the x is, I'm going to put a 0. Oh, y is 0. So if x is 0, y is 0. And look, it says they're equal. Y is equal to x. So whatever x is, y is going to be. So let's pick another number. Let's pick 2. If x equals 2, what's y? So let's write this out. Y equals x. And x is going to be 2. Oh, y is 2. So here I have 2 points, and now I can graph the line. But be careful, I have to say, is it dashed or is it solid? Because I have this with no equal sign in it, it's going to be dashed. So when I draw it, I have to be careful. So I start at 0, 0, and then I have to find 2, 2. Well, I go over to 2 on the X and up to here. Click. But make sure it's dashed. Okay. So that's my first line. Now I'm going to color it. I have to decide what side to color, what side to shade. So because this goes through the origin, it touches 0, 0. I can't use 0, 0 in this one. I'm going to have to use 1, 1. So I'm going to take, I'm going to take 1, 1 and substitute it into the inequality. Oh, look, no, 1, 1 is on here. I can't use 1, 1, so I have to pick another point. We can pick any point in here. Okay, let's pick, I don't know, let's pick this point. No, let's pick this point. That's, for me, it's easier. So 2, 0. This point is 2, 0. And I'm going to substitute this point into the inequality and see if it's true or false. So that's X, that's Y. So my X is going to be 2, my Y is going to be 0. Now I read it. 0, big side, 0 is bigger than 2. 0 is bigger than 2. 0 is bigger than 2. No, 0 is not bigger than 2. That's false. That means this point here is false. That means all of this side is false and all of this side is true. So I have to color this side. Okay. So that's just doing one question. Okay, it's just like the previous question. Just draw the line, color one side. Now we're going to do inequality number 2. So first we just write it as an equation. Oh, this is in the nice slope y-intercept form. So that means put a point at 2 on the y-axis, and this is the slope. So there's a 1 hiding here, so it's really -1, but I have to make it a fraction, so put it over 1. Okay, this says go down 1, go right 1. So starting here, I go down 1, right 1, put a point. Down 1, right 1, put a point. Down 1, right 1. Down 1, right 1. Okay, so here's my line here. Oh, wait, is it dashed or solid? Because it doesn't have an equal sign, it's dashed. So, it's dashed. That doesn't look dashed. I'll erase some things. So now I have to decide what side to color on this one. Now because this does not go through the origin, I can pick the easy point, which is 0, 0. So I'm going to pick 0, 0, substitute it into the inequality. So wherever there's an X and a Y, I'm going to put 0. That's just 0, so 0 is less than 2. 0, small side, 0 is less than 2. 0 is less than 2. Say it out loud 5 times. 0 is less than 2. 0 is less than 2. That's true. 0 is less than 2. So where is point 0, 0? So here's my line. Here's point 0, 0. Right here. So this point is true. So this point is true. All of this side of this line is true. Everything here on this side is true, and everything on that side is false. Let me get a different color. Okay, let's use pink. So all of this side is true because 0, 0 is true. So I have to color this side of that line. Okay. So now you have to decide what piece to shade. This little triangle here is not colored at all, so we don't shade this. This one's only shaded once, so we don't choose this one. This one's only been shaded once, so we don't shade this. This one's been shaded with the pink and the blue. This one's been shaded twice. That means any point from this section substituted into these inequalities, it will make it true. Okay, so these points make both of these true. So now my final answer is going to be just shading this section here. Okay.